And
All right.
boom.
And we live.
We're live.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to FastTrack Feedback Fridays FastTrack. We got Donda on deck. Okay, we're going to play Kanye West's new unreleased album.
Right,
Just
which
kidding.
is unreleased.
Mm-hmm.
But we have it.
Donda Está, is it? Right? Am I right? Enrique, you speak Spanish, right? No, never mind. You can't hear him. Yeah, what's up, everybody? Another week of Fresh Track Fridays. We got freshest tracks from artists in the Champaign area as well as some other places as
Worldwide.
well. Yeah, we're getting
Legit.
worldwide. Last time we had, what, Caribbean?
We had artists, from 6 different countries or locales.
Local,
cool.
SoCal.
Yeah, we had like some Jamaica in the mix. We had some Japan.
Yeah.
We had some France, some other European places.
Yeah.
And the United States of Champagne. So
Yeah.
that was cool.
Yeah, it was super crazy. We had Caribbean gospel. We had Asian rap, or not Asian, Japanese.
And yeah, different genres from everywhere.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And we had awesome feedback in the chat. So yeah, if you guys are watching with us, if you're tuning back in, if you're seeing us for the first time on Twitch, because that seems to happen more and more, feel free to just chime on in and type what you hear, whether you fill in the artist, whether you're feeling the song, what you think they could be improving, stuff like that. Because these guys have submitted or asked for feedback for us, and that's what we're here trying to do on video. But we want you guys to be able to help as well, because last time and in streams in past, we just had really good feedback from the people watching. So That's awesome. All right,
Hype up the chat.
Hype up the chat. Let's go, everybody. Type Donde Está is Kanye's album in the chat if you're with me. I'm just kidding. All right, let's see. Without further ado, we'll go to the first track. We got Castle Finn, the latest
Woo.
and greatest. Well, I don't want to shove everybody else to the side, but
amongst the greatest
Fast Track submission people, submitters.
top tier track
last week. And he has he's going to be leading out our lineup this week with his track When I See You Again. It's also a finished release. He said this is the second Castle Finn release. His first, the last one was his first?
It was
That's insane.
It was one of his first. It was the third song he'd ever recorded and written, I think.
Okay.
I don't know what the order of releases was, though.
Okay. It's the second Castle Finn release. He wrote this song for a very close friend who passed away unexpectedly. R.I.P. That sucks to hear. We spoke a lot about our past lives together and considered each other family. The song references Native American spirituality. He was of the Lakota tribe. This song is equal parts grief and celebration of a life well lived. Cool. That's very wholesome to hear, and I can't wait to hear it. We have Castle Finn. Looks like a guitar treading some water here. When I See You Again. Without further ado, let's play it. And Enrique, let me know if the audio is working, okay? And chat. It's funky.
Yeah. Ooh.
Super clean sounding too.
Yeah.
Open your mind with a breath and a step outside. Don't be afraid to close your eyes. No, don't fear what it is you find. Walk in the light till you get to the fireside. I know it'll be alright as you step into the night. When I see you again.
Oh,
Like that background guitar.
Yeah. Nice tambourine.
Nice guitar tone.
they fall, pray they all fly to you. As they grace the earth and cut through the canyon to the center.
A little bit like Western almost.
Yeah, like a Tahiti.
The thought of losing you rings the years from my eyes. What am I without you? What am I?
Ooh, silky right there.
Surely not
Yeah.
the same. You know I ain't the same. If you're gonna go changing shame, oh no, you buy that face. When I see you again,
I do like that crunchy
when I
guitar.
see you again, when I see you again, when I see you again, when I see you.
Wow.
Oh shit. Okay, I thought he was gonna. I cut him off last time. So
Yeah.
woo, Castle Finn, everybody.
Nice.
When I see you again.
Cool.
Yeah. R.I.P. to his friend there that he was talking about in the song. That was a jam. I was expecting something more somber, but that was like a jam.
Yeah.
It's like
I think
groovy.
his description made sense with it. It was it's a good jam. Good groove.
Yeah,
Good
dude.
song.
Yeah, it's making me repeat it. It's catchy.
It's also something that I feel like I want to see live. It's like one of those kind of songs that's a chill summer festival vibe type thing. It's sort of just like a
Yeah. So does he have a band?
I believe he has a band, a collection of folks from around Champaign that he
Okay.
performs with.
Okay. I wonder if he records with the band as well, and like if they have like their own like drummer and drum set and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Because this one sounded like a different kit. First of
That's
all,
what I thought too. Yeah.
yeah. It sounded like a different kit, and yeah, again they sound like super in sync and in pocket. So
Mhm.
definitely jams. You guys are the core elements there. And yeah, you guys are just talented artists. Like you're doing a great job. Josh, what do you think about vibes?
Yeah, vibes. Definitely, I like it. I would give it a green. I think I have more specifics. Not maybe impact vibes a little bit from production side, or even from sort of like like performance choices.
Go on
to
in.
some extent.
Mm.
Should I go into that?
Yes, do it.
All right. So the first thing that stuck out again is just the sonic profile immediately. A little bit high mids forward, a little bit cutting at certain points to where it was like there was one of the main guitar parts was just a little bit too loud in the mix compared to the other stuff.
Like a solo or
there were a couple points where the solo was just cutting out like way too far. Just gain is too high above the other stuff. So partly the gain with that, but again, most of that volume issue was in the high mids. So there's a point where it's sort of like sharp kind of cutting. And interestingly, like the snare, there was the rim shot snare. Also, I felt like what actually was gain matched pretty well to the guitar, but everything else that existed in a frequency spectrum below that stuff, especially in like the low mids, was actually too low in the mix relative to those. So I mean, it's either like you turn one up and then they're even, or you turn one down, they're even.
Dude, I was going to say, where's the kick drum?
Yeah, so there's again, this is super common. We talk about it a lot, but the low mids and the low end are hard to get right, and I think it's just like it's probably the system that stuff's being mixed on or something, because there's like a ton of that high mid activity across all of the instruments, actually including the vocal too.
Yeah,
I thought there were frequencies that were a little bit biting in there, but it could also it's all relative, right?
Yeah.
So it could just be that the listening volume that we have it at is so we can hear the low end properly, which is often what people match their ear to.
Yeah.
but the low end is too low, and so then those high mids get boosted too high when the volume is turned up.
I see.
So it might just be that
the
system's showing something a little bit inaccurately to where you're taking too much low end out of the mix.
The system meaning what he's listening to.
Yeah.
Or whoever's mixing your stuff, Castlefin.
Yeah. We've talked about like, okay, well, even if the system has a lot of low end, that could make you compensate for the system having a lot and taking out low end. So it could be that kind of thing. A little bit hard to say. Maybe there's a sub on that and the bass brings a lot of sub through on that, but on any other system that doesn't have a sub, you can't hear that. And so it throws the whole mix of the balance of the mix off.
Yeah.
So that's possible. That was the thing that stuck out to my ear the most. In terms of like sort of content or arrangement, sort of like performance choices, I agree with Chris. All of the musicianship and locking together is super good here.
Yeah, that's drummers in pocket too.
Yeah, really good. That's the most important part by far.
I love
because everything else you can fix later in the box, but that stuff's great.
Yeah.
My one thing, there were a couple points where it felt like the vocal like pitches were a little bit uncertain of like where they wanted to go, sort of. Like I was sort of like left a little bit uneasier on the edge of like, where is this vocal? Like, what's the melody here? Where is it going? Because there'd be a pitch that sort of sounded like it was going to come back up to something, and it sort of half did or didn't.
Yeah.
And some wavering in pitch.
Yeah. It sounds like he wants to belt it. And I want him to belt it.
Maybe it's that. I just think it's like, I can't always tell what the melody is trying to do in the vocal because it's sort of wavering around a little bit too much. And I know some of it, of course, can be stylistic, but it's also a balance in style. So that, and then also with the guitar, I felt like there's one similar thing in like that last louder solo towards the end.
The Western one?
Yeah, towards the end of it when it went higher in the register.
Oh, higher. Okay. That's a different one. Okay.
I thought maybe it was at the end of that one, or maybe it was the one before that. But there was, again, sort of uncertainty about where the melody was going in that. It sort of just sounded like it was a collection of notes rather than a melody that tells a story or has a pattern to it or whatever. And some of that also manifests in like, people can tell when you're not sure exactly where you're trying to go with a solo or a melody, because then your timing also gets messed up. And like you sort of hit notes almost at random, and they're also not on the dot on the beat. Yeah, but they're also not arranged in a way that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, sometimes too, like just to push back a little bit on that, because like I don't know if he did that like an improv solo,
maybe, but like improv solos have logic to them too.
Yeah,
it's not
for sure.
Just notes.
For sure. Yeah. I guess I'm trying to explain it. Maybe what could happen. Because it doesn't excuse
most of it. I thought was great,
sounding good. Yeah. I think most of it sounded good too. But there is, I give a little bit more freedom with solos because they tend to do kind of more wonky things in a solo. But I do think that, especially near the end, it kind of trailed off into like something that was a little bit offbeat, which I don't know if it was intentional or not, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is coming from the perspective of like me being a guitarist who does improv solos basically every day I'm alive.
Yep.
I just like, there's always got to be a direction that you're going, and a reason for playing the notes that you're playing rather than just they're available to you. They're there. That can just be how you lead from one note to the next, like not making random jumps back and forth. You can make sequential jumps. Like there's a lot of solos that do wacky, weird shit, but there's a logic to it. There's a musical sequence to it. So yeah, I mean, that wasn't most of it. That was only at certain points, but I just feel like there's a similarity between some of those guitar solos and some of the vocal melodies of being a little bit like not so certain in the direction that they wanted to lock in. So that's just a performance thing, but
yeah, be confident, go ham in where you're going, Castle, because you guys got it.
Hell yeah.
So we definitely want to hear the confidence there. So in terms of traffic lights, content, what would you say, green or yellow?
Content, I would say chartreuse, because I think content counts as like performance choices and arrangement and writing. It's sort of like songwriting. So yeah, lemon lime, Sprite, lemon lime for content, and then also the same for production for me, because I think it's pretty much there. There's just like some sort of mix wide things that might be mediated pretty easily.
Yeah. For me, I'll go ahead and go vibes. I think you hit everything on the head, by the way. Vibes for me, this is a fucking jam, somber ass jam. This is like You ever heard of the Christian side hug, where you like hug your friend, but it's from the side, so it's all PG, and you
That's
like
funny.
you want to sing it and like kumbaya. That's like the kind of vibe I got. Like you're wishing your friend a farewell and celebrating his life, like you said.
Yeah.
So it was a very nice vibe, very clean sounding, which was kind of nice. The voice, the guitars, the bass line, even, which I thought was weird because I kind of, and Josh focused in too on the lower frequencies. I thought the bass line was at an okay level. I just, listening to the drums, because I am a drummer, I didn't hear like any of the kick. Like I heard like the high frequency, I guess, part of it, but it just seemed like if there's a low end that was just absent. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I got to hear that little boom 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 in my headphones to really kind of jive with it. And even if it was missing, like I could hear the pocket that the hi-hats were swinging in, and that rim shot sound of a snare was really really crunchy sounding. It was really nice. But yeah, the kick drum was just like absent, which was weird for me. So like I would try to change that. I think I would put that as like a production side yellow in addition to Josh's comments. In terms of the content, I would put it as lemon lime as well. Mirroring a lot of the comments of some of the solos and some of the vocal lines, where it just sounds like you want to go somewhere with it, but then you kind of hold yourself back. So I want to hear you, as a Castle Finn fan, I want to hear you go for it, because I believe that you can.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall track, I would say it's lemon lime.
Yeah. Oh, one more suggestion that I just remembered with production.
Yeah.
There's something happening on the vocal. It's almost like not. It's like one of those short, not like slapback delays, but there's like
flanger.
It's almost. I think what we're hearing is the fact that there's like maybe a very short delay or reverb type thing that's very tight on the vocal that essentially copies it and places it a few milliseconds later.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like that slapback delay thing, but if it's too close together, it can introduce phasing issues. And that's what we were probably hearing.
It does kind of
flangery type thing. There are a couple points where it's like there's some weird processing that I don't think is supposed to be there on the vocal. And then there's other points where I hear clearly the effect of like the sort of room ambiance sound that seems like they're trying to do. Yeah. So I would just be careful with processing those kind of vocal effects, and maybe making that effect that you're trying to achieve, if that's what it is, even more apparent by changing the delay time to be a little bit longer, so that it separates the two and your brain can sort of deal with that, and it doesn't introduce phasing issues.
Yeah, and it sounds more intentional.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like a John Lennon like slapback delay vocal sound.
Or more my speed, Baby Keem,
Sure.
But okay. Yeah, so your overall track, where you at?
Overall track, I would say, just because there's some production stuff, it's also lemon lime chartreuse.
Lemon lime. For your second release, by the way, is still fucking crazy. I don't understand how you do it.
But yeah, this is very, very impressive.
Yeah. My second release was garbage. You probably won't hear it. It's probably not online somewhere. It's definitely not on Spotify. But yeah, that was Castle Finn. When I See You Again. Thank you very much, bro. Love to have you on the stream, and I love your music. Jealous of Josh that he got to see you live and I didn't. So
no, I didn't. I missed.
Oh,
that
you
one.
didn't? Okay.
I saw.
We gotta definitely.
It's on the internet. I saw some of it online.
Okay.
But yeah, we want to hear more of your stuff.
More of Castle Finn. We are Castle fan over here.
Castle fans.
All right. Anyways, next song we got Soul, Unnamed. Oh, okay. It's just not named. Demo. Okay, yeah.
Unnamed. Okay.
My work is always about emotions and feelings. I always write about my thoughts, so everything I write are about situations and experiences I actually have gone through. My inspirations are Black with a 6, The Weeknd, and Drake.
The Weeknd without an E.
Yeah, it is. Well, there's 2 E's.
Right, without a third E.
Yeah. I'm working on an EP to be released by the end of this year. Let's go. That's awesome. And I would love for you to showcase this demo I am working on for my upcoming EP. It's a short clip, but I would love to know what you think.
Cool.
Dude, this is dope. Soul, Unnamed. So we know Castle Finn, like that's our boy. He had a submission last week, but Soul, how did you hear of us, man? Would love to see where you guys are coming from. But yeah, this is Soul, demo.
Why would I
defend myself when you don't listen. Half the stories that you spread are all just fiction. Don't follow me, I just wanna be alone. I don't wanna argue, I just wanna go home. Think about all of my wrongs, you caught me in the zone. So now I'm looking at the clock like where'd the time go? I know I'm difficult, but why do you have to be the reciprocal?
Flip it. Damn, what the fuck?
Why did you cut it off?
It's only
Show us the whole
seconds,
thing,
dude.
Yeah, there's got to be more than that.
I definitely see the
started
Drake
with
influence.
something. Oh yeah, totally.
Definitely see it.
Oh man,
that was so.
I mean,
man.
I gotta say, first of all, like that guy almost hit the brown note.
Yeah.
Like I mean that bass is some of the best that we've heard. Some of the best low end that we've heard. Like that shit was resonating in these headphones. These ATH.
You're rumbling in my ear, dude.
Yeah, that shit was rumbling. So it sounded really full. And it had a good vibe to it.
Is that you?
No, it's Enrique.
Oh, Enrique. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, what are your first impressions?
So I'm actually, you guys can't see what I'm doing, but I'm looking back on his story because let's see, he said it's a demo, so I'm wondering if he Solo, I don't know if you're in the chat or not. Maybe we can talk later, but I don't know if you're using this demo to like show to a producer and then get mixing, from externally, or if you're mixing it yourself. I don't know. I was just trying to see what I could give feedback on, what would help you out. Overall vibes, yeah, Drake. I see this as a Drake influence heavy. There's like auto-tune on there, but it sounds real nice. You have a nice soothing voice. I didn't hear any struggle bars. I didn't hear any punchlines, but I don't think that's what you're going for. I heard something about a reciprocal. Then I said something stupid, but yeah, I didn't exactly catch the bar. But yeah, I just want to hear more. That was super soulful sounding instrumental. Yeah, I think vibes, it's a green. In terms of, let's see, so content, it's too short to really say. It's like decent. So I guess we'll hold off on that because it's only 51 seconds long. I don't know what else. It looks like there's a rest of the beat. In fact, you're an asshole because you gave us like a snippet of what it was going to sound like afterward, and then it stopped.
Yeah, and it sounded cool.
Yeah, it sounded really cool.
But actually, no, this is the whole album.
yeah, this is the EP.
Yeah.
And so I can't really comment on content because it was just so short. It was solid, but it's short. I don't want to give a score there. With production, so I don't know if you're mixing this yourself. The vocals just sound super clean to me, which is good. It sounds like you're getting a good clean raw signal with like minimal room noise and whatever, and the auto-tune sounds good. It's not jumping everywhere around, which in some cases it works, but for this vibe, I think you want it exactly where it's at right now. I would just say maybe play with little effects. If you're the one mixing it, give it a little space because the instrumental is kind of asking for it.
Yep.
It's like club on a Tuesday night, 2 a.m. vibes. You're all alone, but you want to party. But it's like, where's Bay? And it's like, it's,
up.
There has to be like an echo in the room. Like there has to be
ambiance.
That kind of ambiance. So yeah, it just sounded kind of dry. So I would work on it for production side. If you're the one doing it, I would say it's a yellow. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I think this functions as a good. If this is the intro to something, it's either the intro to the song that it's on, obviously.
Oh, is that what he said?
The EP. I don't know, but that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like it's a good sort of intro to something with that sort of slow build, big bass that kind of builds anticipation, and then it sounds like it goes into something cool, but we won't know that for now. But yeah, I mean, so far the production sounds really good. Definitely,
it's clean.
That's great. Although, again, gain staging, like that sample at the beginning and whatever was happening before the vocal came in sort of led me to believe that things were going to be at one volume, and the vocal comes in way louder than the rest. And when the bass came in, it did match the vocal, I think correctly.
Yeah. But
my main thing that I can tell, I can see it, is you're recording way too close to the mic. Whatever mic it is, we can hear all of your mouth sounds and stuff. Yeah, you don't want that. Drake doesn't record that close to the mic. Sorry,
yeah.
guarantee it. They don't do that in major studios. They record 12 inches away from the mic.
Oh shit!
And that's I mean, they can record 12 inches away from the mic because they're using like a Neumann condenser mic. You would never want to do that with like an SM58 because it's dynamic.
Okay.
But with like a Neumann condenser and a high powered preamp, that's how they do it. You won't have the luxury of having probably a super high powered preamp unless you have like a universal audio thing or some nice, I don't know, some high end thing or whatever.
What would you say if they had like a $200 condenser mic?
Yeah, probably 6 to 8 inches from the mic.
Okay.
Not 3 to 4.
Taking notes.
Yeah, not 3 to 4. Because again, it's like, I understand why you do it. Because when you have headphones on, you get closer to the mic, it starts to sound better the closer you get.
Sounds real good.
That's because it gets louder and because there's more low end in your voice. But most of the time, you're gonna EQ the low end out of your voice anyways to make room for the low end instruments and the bass and all that stuff. So just like you gotta A/B them, and what the best way to convince yourself probably is to record both ways and then level match them. So in your DAW, they are the same volume, and then see which sounds better, like timbrally. Like which one makes your voice sound more like your heroes. And I can tell you, as long as you've got enough gain for the distance that you're doing from the mic, and your room is quiet and all of that stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
which it sounded like it was. It sounded like it was a well produced environment. Didn't hear any noise.
Yeah,
but yeah, that will go a long way in not making it sound like we're in your mouth.
That's a good tip. I didn't really hear all of that.
Yeah, I mean, and your comment about space, I think, is related to that too.
Possibly.
Because it feels a little bit too present.
Yeah, it felt like this.
It feels like I'm rapping and I'm right here.
Yeah, that's true.
Too close. Especially because it was louder. Especially just because it was louder than the sort of expectation set by the intro before the vocal comes in. So it's making sure those levels are consistent. You could just turn up the sample in the beginning probably if you want to.
Yeah.
Because
sweet automation.
Once the vocal came in, things were right in relation to each other.
Yep.
But yeah, I would recommend trying to record like that, or see if you can solve the problem by adding some reverb on a bus. Adding some space could definitely help with that as well.
Definitely.
And maybe using a DS or two.
That's what I was looking for. The space mostly.
Space, DS, or that kind of stuff could help. So I would, for vibes, I like what I'm hearing. I mean, I think this could be a really powerful song, a powerful EP. I'll give it green on that.
Send us more, bro.
Yeah. Content, I would give it. It's hard to rate again, but from what I hear so far, if this is functioning to be the intro of something, it works, I believe. So I'd give it a green.
Okay.
And then production is a develop because it's in progress, and because I think if you want to make it like release ready, there's a couple of tweaks that you should make.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that's what I would say. And then do we want to do overall?
Yeah, overall, I think is a develop.
Yep. Yeah. It's a yellow for develop.
Yeah, dude. Send it in again once it's done. And let us know.
Please do.
I asked a bunch of questions. Like, are you mixing it yourself? Are you sending it to producer? Are you gonna do anything else with the song? Because like, is the next song the one that it's going into? Like, yeah, all that shit. And where'd you come from? Be cool to.
Where did you come from? Where did you go?
Where did you come from? Cotton Eye Joe. New rap name.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's see. We'll go to the next one here.
Thank you, Soul. We're looking forward to hearing more.
Yeah, Soul for real. Very soulful. Good name for you. We got one from I Don't Even Rap. Super hot fire. Bobby Bonilla, prod by Washi B. The Mets still play Bobby Bonilla 1.1 million times every July 1st until 2035. What are you talking about? I have no idea what this guy's talking about.
I'm wondering if this is somebody from Champaign or elsewhere.
I don't know. I don't even rap. Where you at? Where you from? Washi B. Where you
sounds
from?
familiar. I'm wondering if this person's local or not.
Oh,
I don't know.
You know? Okay. There's no description to it, so yeah, we'll just listen to it and see what happens.
Well, they did write the Mets. I sort of doubt they're from around here.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Bobby Bonilla, let's go.
I don't even try. Prorated.
This is your captain speaking. Blow it down,
365, dirty behind, only the kind. I-95, left Boston behind. Brevard, the new reside. You thirsty for a bride? I'm upgrading the ride, a pour on the side. Numbers like pie, grilled or fried. Pick features why I lie. Showtime like the shy, let me clarify. Do this for sport. Busting, producing chords, clutching the fort. Flows cold up north, the green home court. Yeah, stride for stride, indigenous pride. Lean to the side, cheeks good and wide. I don't even try, they not talking to me. Never lost a dollar from a nigga not talking to me. Not once, never lost a dollar. Never lost a dollar. Not once. Run it back. never lost a dollar from a nigga not talking to me. I don't even try. Boy, Bonilla, I don't even try. Boy, Bonilla, I don't even try. Boy, Bonilla, I don't even try.
I ain't tried.
Boy, Bonilla, I don't even try. Natural, can't deny. Keep them grams nearby. Cool as you buy. They're looking to ride. No denying the curve of a thigh. No denying the curve. Chasing these bands. Internationally land. 28 grams high on demand. Mexico, the motherland. BLM taking a stand. The motto, the organization can scram. Your music straight to spam. Melanin tan, cool like a fan. Fuck a yes man, a stand. Your whole life for the gram. Diaper like Dan. And motion prorated brand. Cool with 100 grams. Rather unique. Bloody streets, AZ, rather unique. World premiere, sneak peek, 1,000 millies keep. Yeah, I don't even try. Yeah, boy, Bonilla, I don't even try. Yeah, boy, Bonilla, I don't even try. Never lost a dollar from a. Never. Boy, Bonilla, I don't even try. Never lost a dollar from a nigga not talking to me.
Ooh, I love this beat.
Yeah.
The bass line is awesome. The fucking this distorted.
Ooh, wow.
Okay, so even still listening to that song, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Bobby Bonilla?
Who knows?
Bobby Bonilla.
That was mean.
I don't even try.
Yeah.
Bobby Bonilla. That was I don't even rap. Bobby Bonilla, prod by Washi B. Bro, Washi B, that fucking beat. First of all, that was dope. I like that.
Yeah.
It sounded clean to me. It's like it was just a lot of energy.
It was mean.
Yeah, it was mean. And the
cool.
bass line was probably my favorite. Just that like super distorted shit. It reminds me of I don't know if you ever guys play a game called Hotline Miami, but there's music like that. Just that game was like you played as a serial killer. So like you're just going through other gangsters' places and just shooting shit up. So
nice.
Kind of sounded like that.
They could get a deal for that. That would pay a lot of money.
What?
Get this in a video game.
Oh yeah, for sure. That'd be
GTA.
That'd be a dream. That I'd want that to happen for my music, or like an anime opening. That'd be like my favorite.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's like the vibe I have here. That's for the beat, and so I think in terms of the vocals, it sounded like you're a little restricted. I don't even rap. I don't even try. It kind of sounds like that. Like I don't even try. Where like the energy, it might work on one song, but with this song, I was expecting you to come at it, like come for my fucking throat and like just murder the mic or something like that. And I just didn't get that energy that I was, kind of craving with the beat. It just kind of sounded like you were, one of my friends used to do this when we were first making songs. He would be rapping in his house, but his brother would be in the house with him and he was embarrassed. So he'd go into the bathroom where he thought the acoustics sound good, and then like almost kind of just whisper / talk into the mic, trying to rap, trying to sound like hard and big. And I don't think your lyrics are really going for that in terms of a mismatch of energy. But that's what I was looking for, like something a little more hard hitting, something a little more confident with your delivery. So yeah, the vibes for me, I think it's like a little. I'd say it's a yellow. I develop it on that.
We've got a Twitch.
We got Avenge13. What's up, dude? I don't know that emote, but hello. Are you doing feedback from people on Twitch, or do you take submissions from somewhere else? Thank you for the questions.
Yes.
We take feedbacks from a submission form. If you could see it on our banner there, just go ahead and type it in. I don't know if it's in our Twitch description, but yeah.
It's right on the overlay there. If you just go to tinyurl.com/fasttrack-friday-form.
Damn,
it's right
from
there.
Memory. Yeah, it's on screen. Thank you for asking. That's awesome. Some people just link their shit in the chat. So
yeah, send it in.
But yeah, so that's my vibe. I think it's yellow. Content. I don't know. It kind of goes with I guess content. I content and vibes is weird because I lump performance kind of in both of them.
Sure.
So I think if I were like your producer or your manager and I listened to this, I'd be like, yo, try that again, but with more energy. So I would say develop it. That's the biggest thing for me when I listen to rap music. I think a big differentiator is energy. There's flow, there's lyrics, and like on a first listen, I can't really hear too much on lyrics. And especially with my next point on production, I'm gonna focus mostly on lyrics, vocals here. That's just what I do. Like I said, it kind of sounds like you're rapping from a bathroom. Like I think there's a lot of reverb. It's kind of pushing your voice back in the mix a little bit. Doesn't sound very crisp, so I can't really make out what you're saying too much. And all that combined with like a laid back delivery, it's just kind of hits me as a meh. I'd want it to be a little more brighter. I think your ad libs actually, I think they sounded the best in terms of vocally. Like I think that's exactly where you want your ad libs to sound like. They sounded great. I want my ad libs to sound like that. But yeah, in terms of the main vocal, I want it to be more upfront. I want it to be brighter. I want less reverb, and I want more confidence in the delivery. So I'm thinking production. I think is yellow too.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak as much as you can, I think, to the vibes on this kind of thing, but I thought it was a cool, like, it was hard hitting. I thought it worked well. I enjoyed listening to it. So I don't really have any.
Even try. That's fire though. I like that line. I don't even try.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't even rap.
I agree. Yeah, that is cool. I agree with all of your.
Where you from, Doug?
Yeah, let us know if you're in the chat. I agree with all of your comments around that stuff too. But yeah, I would say like the general vibe that you've got going is cool, and you should keep going for that. Keep working on it. It's very close to being good, but like Chris said, there's a couple of things that could help it be even more convincing. With the energy and that kind of thing. So,
that piano is like literally straight out of a horror movie, and that bass line is like,
yeah, that's super cool.
Like that's the kind of vibes I need with this, you know?
Yeah, I like the vibes. I would say it's pretty much green. Maybe there's a couple of energy things with the vocal delivery, but for sure. Then with content, so yeah, I would definitely just have to echo Chris's comments. I think, yeah, whatever you rated it, honestly, I'll rate that yellow.
Yeah. I think I went yellow across the board.
Yeah, sure. And then with production, again, I agree. I felt my first thought, the vocal sounds too like round. The vocal sounds round and the track sounds square. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like there's this mismatch. I think that the main culprit, honestly, is there's not enough low cut on the vocal. Like there's the track, which is its own thing, and then there's this vocal that's got this heaviness to it, this heavy low endness to it.
Yeah.
That's kind of like weighing down on the track. Like it's kind of like sitting on the track. And I think it would just integrate better with the two as an actual song if there was a little bit more low cut, so they can sort of blend together more.
Yeah.
That's what it was. They weren't blending together very well.
I actually thought it actually set pretty well with each other, but I could agree with your too much low end. I think the way that I describe it is it sounds like you were recorded from a bathroom. Like there's a lot of low
there's
end.
Something in there that like it is extraneous. Like there's something that needs to be like EQ'd out or something to make it sound more like one with the track that it's on.
Yep.
It's something around those areas that we mentioned. But yeah, I mean,
it looks like it's a private track. So Dog, if you're working on this, like we'd love to hear you. Take our feedback with a grain of salt. You are your own artist, but we make music too, and we listen to a lot of music, so we're trying to help people out. And if you agree with our comments, you want to try again, we'd love to hear what you think, and what you change. I just said that because it's private. He says,
cool.
On
okay,
but overall, I think it's a develop. Maybe orange to put in some red there because I might re-record it depending on where that extra noise that Josh and I are talking about, like making the vocal round. And I thought it was like too much reverb. So that might be fixed with, production and just like mixing it again. But I think in terms of delivery, you might want to re-record some stuff. Try to sound a little bit more
possibly
energetic.
or I'm in
an orange, I think.
Right. Okay.
What do you think?
For me, I would say, I mean, I don't have as much of a foray into all of that stuff, but
Yeah.
I would give it a chartreuse. I think it's like,
Damn.
Originally I was going to say this sounds
That's a
pretty,
yellow and between yellow and green, by the way.
yeah, for people who don't know colors.
Yeah.
I was going to say before, like, I thought it was going to be a green actually, because
Wow.
it sounds like there's a lot working for this track.
Mhm.
There's a lot that comes together well in a pretty professional
I think Washi
way.
B went the fuck off, by the way.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think he was really good.
There's a lot that I think is super cohesive. There's just like an extra like 5 or 10% that could be put into it to make it, you know, that next level.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true. I'm a little harsh on hip hop, I think, but that's just what I do.
Sure.
And
I'm harsh on the guitar solos.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, we'll go to the next one.
It looks like we've got another submission as well. We've got a dubstep work in progress.
Oh shit, dude, dubstep. Should I do that instead of the ones we pull from Reddit? Probably.
Well,
not.
yeah. So after the one that we've got from the submissions, we can do that, and then we can do the other ones.
All right, Avenged. We'll get to you, man. Thank you, or woman, or whatever gender. You know, it's 2021. I don't want to cancel myself. Human.
Yes.
Aliens too. We love aliens. But yeah, appreciate you finding us. That's cool. I think we got to add here real quick. Shit. Oh yeah. Also, Avenged. Oh, you're a girl. Okay. Yeah. Feel free to drop in your feedback too. What you think of what you listen to. Let's see. Let me get this.
Yes, you're a member of the feedback crew now.
Yes, that's true. Let us know.
Give your ratings.
All right. So we got Psy Lie Down. So this is basically me trying to talk about how it's hard to go out with people sometimes, and that I'd rather stay home and lie down.
Same.
And maybe I'll even have fun with my friends. But at the end of the day, they're still going to feel like strangers, and I still don't have control over anything really. Because no matter how much fun I have, there's still this way back home. That makes me overthink really, and I just want to lie down and shut up my eyes and stop with the thinking. Sorry for the text wall. I just wanted to convey some context. Wow. Bro, that was such a run-on sentence.
It's a stream of consciousness.
Yeah, when you said overthink really, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly
that's what you're doing. It's a stream of consciousness.
That's crazy.
I hope this isn't like the track description. I mean, it's very relatable because it's not like official. No, but I mean like publicly.
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, no.
I'm just saying, like,
so publicly it says Beat by Red Mosque. Please check him out on YouTube. Hey, there you go. Fucking
nice.
tagging your producers. That's right. Good shit. But yeah, that's Psy Lie Down. You ready?
Let's listen.
All right, let's do it. Let's see. Bro, is it gonna hit me with another ad? There you go.
The new Honda Civic.
Yeah, I know, right? Kind of sounds like that. 0% APR.
Wait, is it an ad? No.
No.
Whoa! Wow! Holy shit!
That was a surprise.
Yeah.
Silky.
Yeah.
This is a vibe.
Yeah, I like it.
It's like I'm surfing, dude.
Yep.
Like surfing. Ain't 10. Like that. That crunchy bass.
Clean bass.
It's like reminds me of like the Marias, if you ever heard of them. Or who's that? Think about it.
Maybe that could be enough. Maybe that would be the love
It's nice too.
The guitar.
Yeah. All that reverb space.
Shouts out Red Moss.
Wow.
Lie Down by Psy. Dude, that was
Impressive.
that was impressive, man. After reading your description, I was like, oh no, like what is this going to be like? But that was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
That was
great.
a pleasant surprise. That was vibey as fuck. I always start with the vibe because I think it's fun. I always get imagery. I thought this was like a bunch of ghosts surfing.
Ooh, yeah.
Like a just
Haunted summer.
Yeah, haunted summer at night. You're all just chilling, but you're ghosts.
I love that, yeah.
Yeah, that was a vibe, man. Vibe is green for me. I love that shit.
I think we've got the artist on the stream.
Thank you so much. Is that you? Damn.
Is it?
What's up,
Is
Sai?
it? Let us
Bro,
know.
how'd you hear of us, dog? Like, where you from? Champagne, Reddit? What's up? We're trying to get some info there. But yeah, this reminded me. I don't know if you know. Do you know who? I don't know if the number's right. 347 Aiden. Do you know who that is?
That sounds really familiar.
I don't know if it's 347, but something Aiden. It's like no capital letters either. I think he's a big TikTok artist. But he has that kind of breathy delivery that you have too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I really dig that shit. And like, he kind of does it over these indie pop dance type beats. Super cool, man. I was a fan. I was waiting to do this so I could like it because I thought that was cool. And I think you're somebody that I want to keep listening to.
Definitely.
So yeah, vibe I think is green. Found you guys on Reddit. Which Reddit? We posted on a couple of them. I got some posts removed too. So let's see. What's next? Oh, content. Yeah, green for me. The beat was on point. Shouts out Red Mosque. He's super good. Yeah, your delivery was awesome. I think with production is the only kind of tip that I have. I don't know if this is public or not. I think it is. If it's like a work in progress or not, but maybe just like going forward. I just thought that the vocals maybe had a little bit too much high end. Like a little bit. It was a little bit grating. Like with the surfing analogy, there's like sand hitting me, you know, like
there's sand in my buns.
Yeah, there's sand in my buns, dude. And you know that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was, you know, looking past that. I think that's an easy fix. Like when you have the talent is in place, which I think you rocked, you nailed it. Red Mosque nailed it. I think if you just, you know, turn down the high end a little bit, I think it's a good song. I think that's a bop. So my production, I think, is yellow. What do you think, Josh?
Yep, I echo a lot of that stuff. Content, dude. I mean, vibes. Love it. So cool. I'm gonna listen to this shit again.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was sick. And then content also, like, yeah, well written song, had lots of sections and good sort of flow from, you know, the whole arrangement. That was awesome. Green there. Production, same thing. Like it was in my head. I was gonna say in my face, but it was like in my head the whole time. Wow, you got to not boost so much of that high end. I know it's tempting because everybody today in pop music does boost the high end vocals, so you get that super whispery, airy thing.
Yeah,
but there's a limit to it. You can't do an infinite amount of boost.
Yep.
Otherwise, it hurts. It's a little bit painful. Like it was a little bit. There were points when you might have seen me wince just a little bit because I love the song so much. But that was the only thing, like literally the only tip for improvement I have is just like, holy crap, turn I don't know if it's 7 to 10K or something up there in the frequency range, maybe even higher. Needs to just be attenuated a little bit in those vocals, especially because you're stacking vocals and you have multiple copies. There's just so much of that high end, it kind of hurts a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's honestly my only comment there.
Bro, you got a career ahead of you. That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
you're hitting the vibe at exactly when, you know, artists like 347 Aiden.
Yeah.
Let me know if that's the right artist name, by the way. You're hitting the vibe that people are wanting to listen to.
Yeah, you're going straight into my my playlist. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check out your stuff.
Yeah, but I would give it also a yellow, like a yellow to green for production, because that's the only thing that I think should be changed. Yeah. Oh, the only thing that just mildly I sort of noticed as a producer, there were a couple of parts where I couldn't tell if they were real, like actually like played, or if they were like MIDI stuff, like for the bass. maybe it was recorded. So I mean, you could let us know because you're here.
Yeah.
But or maybe it was just so clean that it sounded like it could have been MIDI bass.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah, which is fine. Yeah.
But the other thing that I have is the claps. The claps sounded a little bit synthetic. Maybe just layering more of them, or making them a little bit louder. Even like when the drums came back in, I thought it would have benefited from the claps in that section where there was no drums being just a little bit louder, or being having more layers of claps, because that's a good way to make claps sound fuller.
Yeah,
and not like a sample as much. But yeah, that's the only thing that I have.
Yeah,
and then
I kind of hear what he's saying. I think for me, if I were to do it, I'd chalk that up to preference. But yeah.
Sure, it's a subtle small thing, but I just thought I'd mention it.
But yeah,
okay.
But dude, awesome. I just want to shout out the chat because it's going off right now. Let's see. So I think it was Music in the Making. I see. Thank you. They didn't ban us, so that's good. Pro-rated. Yo, I don't even rap from Boston. Lil Bobby Bonilla is a retired New York Mets baseball player who is still being paid by the Mets. What? That's crazy. Wait,
what?
So you said he's getting $1 million per year? That's ridiculous. Kind of mute for y'all. Appreciate the constructive feedback, positive and negative. It's humbling, but y'all get much love. Bro,
Thanks.
Much love back to you.
Absolutely.
I see you say pro-rated and you're from New York. Do you like Joey Badass at all? Because yeah, he's got a lot of energy, bro. Like, you got to bring that up to his level. But yeah, thank you for sending the track, and thank you for sending the love in the chat. That's awesome, man.
Cool.
Sai says, yeah, I mixed and mastered the vocals, and it was my first time actually putting work into it. Bro, that was your first time? Wow. Bro, my first time I was rapping in the bathroom. Like, good job.
Yep.
Yeah, for your future songs and stuff, work with this guy, by the way, Red Mosque. Keep working with him. He has awesome beats. You guys make a good duo. But yeah, just take the high cut off a little bit. Listen to it in different speakers, just so you get like a full kind of picture of what your song generally sounds like to different people. Because like our system is probably different from what you're using, and to us it sounded like kind of grating, like it just hurt a little bit. But once you got past that, I could tell that the artistry's there, and bro, like, this is a vibe.
Yeah, it's partly. I mean, you want to make sure that there's no system that happens on, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just, and like, I mean, our system does happen to be like very flat headphones, so it's probably going to show up on other systems. So that's an important thing. But yeah.
And then we got Castlefin. Hey y'all, what's up, bro? Yeah, you missed us again. What the hell? But you're here in chat. That's cool. Happy. Check out fellow artists. Yeah, for sure, dog. We got to check you out when you play live sometime, because yeah, I loved your shit. By the way, is it late to put another song of mine into the form? Josh, what do you think?
Well, so we've got one more that was submitted.
We do?
During the stream, we've got the other one that was submitted.
Oh, that was this? Oh, that's right. That's right.
So we've got
From
that
Avenged.
one. I'm going to paste that right here, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, he's helping me out running it a little bit. Every July 1st, Bobby Bonilla gets paid. So I'd say submit it anyways, and then we'll let you know if we get to it, because
yeah, it's only 6:30 right now, so we probably could get to number 6.
Okay, so this next one was the one that was submitted.
Yep.
Did we do an overall thing for this?
Yeah. So overall, for me, I
think
want to say
chartreuse. I think it's lemon lime.
I know, but it's like it's
so good.
There's so little that needs to be corrected. I almost want to say like
it's almost
good.
Green.
It's like good to go with an asterisk of like correct that one thing and it's good to go.
Yeah, that's the thing. And like with SoundCloud people, like for me, like you can kind of forgive that with these up and coming artists. Like I'll still add you to my library on SoundCloud,
of course.
But like that's why I think it's some of that green action is in there. But also like the production did like hurt my ears a little bit, so that's why it's got a little bit of yellow for me. But yeah, overall, like, great job.
The yellow's from all the wax leaking out of our ears.
Yeah, like if it sounded like if that was fixed, I would probably be green, maybe even purple.
Yeah, I
like it had that quality. So purple for us is like if we're just immediately vibing. Like when we heard that first thing and we were like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't just a little grating on our ears, that'd be a purple. So great work, and would love to hear more. So yeah, this is from Avenged, right?
Yep.
Avenged 13, Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah,
influence. I'm getting these vibes.
The artist's name is Dark Matters.
Okay.
And the song title is Maximizer. Project description: just my current whip, work in progress.
Oh, okay.
And yep, that's about it.
Dope. This track's private. 1.6K followers on SoundCloud. That's crazy.
Ooh,
all right, here we
nice.
go. Dark Matters.
Let's go.
Maximizer 15. Shit.
Maximizer. Yep.
The normal range of psychological suffering, not clinical depression, but just feeling like, life sucks and you're a failure and there's nothing,
Cool.
Say to people who the deep fundamental problem in their life is that they're lost.
That's hard.
It all
Ooh, I
seems
like
so
that.
pointless.
I like that melody.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Whoa.
WIP, bro. At the end there was getting a little bit more melodic kind of backdrop.
Yeah.
I was digging it. This brings me back to when I used to listen to dubstep.
Well,
in fucking high school. It's
Mhm.
way back when 2013 when I graduated. Yeah, that vibes is like festival
Mhm.
type shit. It's like festival type shit, but I'm like sitting right next to the speaker and like my ears at the at the tweeter
It's an
level.
experience.
Yeah, at the tweeter level. And I'll say that specifically, getting into the production side of it. So vibes. Festival, I think that's what you're going for. Loud ass fucking music. I had to turn it down. But yeah, I think that sounded pretty impressive from beginning dubstep stuff that I used to produce. Like it's definitely at a level where I think you're honing your craft. So vibes, I think, is green. It kind of sounds sinister, like your profile picture there.
Mhm.
Let's see. What's content? Okay, content. I think a lot of the sounds you were using were super fire. Like, I think you have the sidechain thing going on that's super huge and future based right now. Basically, it's that shit where you're like doing this with your ears,
Yeah.
like just poking your
Oscillations.
oscillations up and down and stuff. I think a lot of the bass heavy sounds sounded super good, but I think there might have been a little bit too much high end. I think high end on those. It sounded a little bit grating, like especially there's like some swish sounds in the beginning before it drops. They just sounded super loud compared to everything else.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a private track, so try to turn those down, I would say, in the beginning. And from like an overall kind of perspective, I think I'm hearing a lot more noise when I really would dig to hear more of the melody. Like when the melody
Yeah.
came in at the end,
Yep.
like with the background
The
strings,
harmonic stuff and all of that.
the harmonic stuff, and that's the part where it sounded really sinister, like with this album art that you got going on there. Like that's that shit that I want to hear in the beginning.
Yeah.
And like that I think would hook me more. Like if I was listening to this on Spotify within like the first drop or whatever, I would probably click off next. But if I heard that kind of sinister vibe in the beginning, I think I would be inclined to listen to more. So
Yeah.
it's only a minute long so far. So that's where I would say. I think also maybe the drums might be a little squashed. Like I can't hear much of the transients popping through.
Yep.
Like with this kind of festival music, it sounds like everything's brick walled. And if I look at the
Yep.
waveform, everything's brick walled.
Yep.
But you want to kind of leave enough room with those oscillations for the transients of the drums to really peek through. And maybe you can fix that with the side chaining. I don't know if you're side chaining your synths and all of the dubstep noises.
Oh,
to the drums,
there's a
but
shitload of side chaining happening. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Like there's aggressive as fuck side chaining
Yeah.
happening too. There's just aggressive compression everywhere.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
it's not even a lack of side chaining. It's just that everything's
much?
brick walled.
Okay.
And there's nothing you can do at that point, because even when you do then the really aggressive side chaining, which
Hmm.
we heard there at the end especially, it just cuts a square hole in the whole track. Like the whole, and that was too aggressive. So like, I mean, just to go along with your comments there, like the compression, don't go as aggressive on it because it has no dynamics for the listener. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like, you got to be a little nicer to your source material there, because otherwise it's just bits. It's literally just everything is at max bit capacity, and it's just one level, and it doesn't like, it's not music at that point, because it's literally just a straight flat line of audio rather than getting punched in the gut every time the kick hits or whatever. That's a lot more dynamic and a lot more gut wrenching than the brick walled thing.
That's the thing with the drums. I didn't get that gut kicking feeling,
because it's everything is just compressed all the way to the ceiling, it sounded like. And I mean, it's a great thing that this is a work in progress, because you can just dial that stuff back. It doesn't mean no compression, it just means balance, as with everything in music. But yeah, sorry, go ahead with
no
production or anything.
That was mostly my tips on production. I think he's so like, this is what I'm giving to you as a listener, because when I'm listening to this song, like I've tried to produce dubstep before. I think you're like at a level that's much higher than me. So I'm just trying to give you like what I'm hearing, and what I would do next. So what I'm hearing is like the drums, they're just not giving any punch, and I think it's what Josh is saying. Everything's brick walled, and that main kind of fucking, I don't know what this is called, but like
the oscillation thing. I mean, it's a common dubstep
shit.
trope.
Right. And like my favorite artist, like Flume, he like does.
I love that shit. Yeah.
But yeah, that I think is over. I almost want to say overwhelming, the drums. Like that is like punching me more than the kick and the snare should be, and I think that might be a mistake. So yeah, production, I would say it's yellow, because I think you should develop it. But yeah, none of those sounds sound cheesy. They sound pretty cool. And yeah, the strings at the end said it's super cool. That's my 3. What do you got for traffic lights?
All right, so vibes. There's some stuff.
I put the maximizer's clipping 8 dB. What the fuck, bro?
Well
8
then,
dB?
8. Yeah. Oh my god. 8 decibels is a lot in the world of
clip it. No, don't
sound.
clip it.
You can use distortion for purposes, but don't clip your whole track.
Unapologetically clip
it is called maximizer.
That's true. Maximizer 15. It might be a 15
Was it originally
dB.
At 15 dB?
Yeah, fuck, dude. You had to scale it back.
Oh man. Well, she's saying it's so dynamic if I don't do the compression thing. I would try to fix that with figuring out what is too dynamic. Is it a certain track that's too dynamic? Are things not playing nice with each other? The solution definitely isn't to squash everything as close together as it can go. Because like one of my main production comments was going to be, it might just be because of the maximizer and because of all the distortion, but there's a ton of like fuzz that's filling in all of the space between everything and leaving no breathing room at all. Like
fuzz is a great way to explain it.
The fuzz could easily be coming from the distortion being caused by the maximizer clipping. That's what distortion does. Creates high frequency content.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So it creates broad spectrum, like upper frequency content.
Yeah.
So that's just sort of filling. It's like there's sand almost everywhere.
Yeah.
To our ears, there's a lot of mid and upper range content that's sort of just like a constant stream. And like, I don't know. I think I know that you want a lot of distortion and energy and stuff in dubstep.
And the loudness war.
Right. And the loudness, sure. But the loudness war is an art. It's not like the people who are in the big leagues of that are not just super maximizing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, right. So yeah, I would just say like maybe go back to the drawing board just a little bit and like identify, if you remove some of the maximizer, what's too dynamic. Is there a certain track or something that's like sort of, distracting, and how can you tame that track maybe? Either with like some sort of side chaining thing to mitigate the problem, or maybe it lies in EQing, compressing the individual track, or choosing different source material. Maybe if things are not playing right with each other, it could be a matter of arrangement. Maybe you need to take a track out. Maybe when you take something out of the mix, it actually sounds fuller. That can happen too. It's sort of a lot of these things are counterintuitive, where it's like to get a really full sounding song and mix, it doesn't mean necessarily compressing it the most you possibly can or putting the most possible instrument parts as you can into it. So I would just be really careful about that. Go in, listen critically, try not to be swayed by the number of tracks you have or the volume. Try to be swayed by like the experience as a listener and how much it sort of moves your limbic system, because that's what you're trying to do here.
So Avenge said in the comments, by the way, I have a lot of headroom. I pushed it so much. So like, I'm guessing headroom before they maximized it.
Yeah, I would think so.
I don't know what it is for dubstep music, but I've typically heard you want to leave like 6 to 3 dBs for headroom before you push it up in a master track. I don't know where you're at now.
I mean, it depends how you define like headroom also, because there's different like DBFS, different like definitions of headroom.
Right.
I mean, with maximizing, well, if you're using a limiter or whatever you're using, you obviously don't want to clip.
yeah, don't clip
so
at 8 dB.
That's step number 1. Don't clip.
Yeah, don't clip, and then don't push it past clipping to 8 dB.
Yeah, if you want...
That sounded surprisingly good for 8 dB.
Yeah, if you want distortion, apply distortion.
Yeah.
I would be very careful about using digital distortion through clipping a maximizer or clipping a compressor limiter or something.
Yeah.
And again, like, I mean, what we're getting at, the means to how you do it is honestly not as important as what we're hearing.
Yeah.
And what we're hearing is like, there's very little dynamic range in most of the track, to where it sort of doesn't really kick as hard as it could.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And then also that there's a ton of that like broad spectrum fuzz.
Yeah.
That is like mildly painful and also just distracts from the energy you're trying to create.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like when the oscillations are coming in and out, I think it would be much more cool if we didn't hear that fuzz that's constant.
Yeah,
you know, like that
totally
would
agree.
That would be more dynamic. And same with the drums. Like maybe you are sidechaining the drum signal so that like everything else is ducked when the drums come in, but you still have that overlying fuzz from perhaps pushing it too hard that like the drums just don't end up hitting.
Right. It's all
behind like a sound wall.
Everything affects everything. So if you mix your drums first, they sound good, and then you do other stuff to your whole mix.
Yeah,
doesn't mean that the drums necessarily sound like they did when you got them how you wanted them to sound.
But this shit wild.
Yeah,
this shit wild.
This shit is wild. It takes a lot of skill.
Yeah, it's a delicate game, and it's frustrating.
One more thing. So that was all the production stuff. I would say production is definitely a develop. There's a lot of stuff to sort of keep honing there. Content, I felt like the drop left something to be desired.
Meaning?
I sort of felt like the drop was maybe an unexpected length or something, where it was like, I wanted there to be more drama in that build-up. It's sort of
more
just
dynamics?
Like, yeah, sort of. I mean, the first part or whatever is like, okay, and then there's like sort of a very short section that has build-up, and then it goes to the drop, and just that whole area doesn't quite have enough that like drama of like things cutting out in a way that's super dramatic, where like legit everything cuts out, and then it kicks with like a really hard kick. I feel like we didn't get as much of that, and it comes back to the dynamics again. But just like crafting that drop to be a little bit more impactful, like maybe making it a little bit longer to build more suspense, because it sounded like it was only like a couple of bars at most. And I think that's a super important part of dubstep, is the suspense and drama before the drop, and then making sure that the drop fucking hits.
Yeah.
And there's ways to do that. But yeah, so then for content, I would give it a develop as well.
I see.
Yeah.
I mix on minus 8 dB, so I put 2 maximizers, one 8 dB, another 8 dB. God damn.
So there's a lot of
16
processing.
dB push.
There's a lot of drastic, like aggressive processing happening here, which again, I have to emphasize, aggressive processing does not equal aggressive sound. And people often, it's the same thing when we listen to hip hop that has like weird bass. Adding more of the bass doesn't mean the listener feels more bass. There's techniques in order to achieve the effects you're trying to achieve that are not so straightforward as compress the shit out of it to make it louder. If you want to make the listener feel like it's louder, you have to allow it to be dynamic and loud, and there's techniques to achieving that. So again, like just like compressing the shit out of stuff doesn't really work, because it's too aggressive, and it's a destructive process. So it literally is destructing the waveforms. It's like destroying, basically. That's what that means. And when you the more processing you put stuff through, the more it's effectively breaking down the original waveforms into what eventually amounts to distortion.
Yep.
Like if you were to take, regardless
If you
of
take
the track,
a rock and
dude,
then you fucking smash it with a hammer,
think
you're
about
gonna
it this
left with
way.
sand.
This is what processing does to anything that you do. Even if you have a very mild acoustic singer-songwriter track and you have some compression and some EQ and some stuff happening, very mild, right? That's totally fine. Try doing that 100 times, pushing the same tracks through the same processing. If you do it 100 times, 1,000 times, however many iterations, you end up with distortion, pure raw distortion. And so it's just an analogy for saying the more that you process tracks, the closer they get to ultimate distortion, which is probably not what you want.
Yeah.
You probably want somewhere in the middle where there's some distortion happening, but not too much. And it's just balance. There's no easy answer of like maximize the fuck out of it or compress the shit out of it. It's all balance, and like it helps to get other people's perspectives, try it out in different systems, because ultimately what you're doing is trying to present this to listeners who all have different ears and they all have different listening systems. And the only way to ensure that you've got something good for that is to try it with different ears and different listening systems.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're really glad that you sent us this as a work in progress, because that's helpful for like being able to keep tweaking it.
Yeah.
And feel free to send it to us again or send other stuff as you work on it. But those are just, I think, the best tips that we can offer from our experience.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to add.
Yeah, we're kind of going in on you a little bit. Like I said, I think you have. I think in terms of if I was to try to go up head to head with you and making a dubstep song, you would destroy me.
Yeah.
I think it sounds pretty solid. It's just to get to that next level, it's just I think too much distortion, too much compression. And in terms of the techniques to try to get you there, Josh pointed out some. I don't think I can offer too much, but I would just say I as a listener, a previous listener of dubstep, I want to hear the drums hit more. Maybe let some more of the transients come in. Try to figure that out. And then try to get rid of that sand that's all over the track.
By the way, on that thread again,
yeah.
You know how when you see a mirror that's reflecting against another mirror, and it gets greener and greener and greener as you go down the chain? It's because mirrors are applying a very slight processing to the light that hits them, which is in many cases a slight green tint. And the more times you apply that, the more distorted it becomes, the more green it becomes. That's exactly what's happening with any processing you do, which is why you have to be careful of like applying a maximizer and another maximizer and another one.
Yeah, your track will become green.
Yeah, you're just going through the layers and totally
not green in the traffic light sense. It's more of a yellow tint, I'd say.
But you've got great stickers in chat too. Thanks for those.
Man, I appreciate it. By the way, every song y'all pick fire. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like the submissions we get is like ridiculous.
They're always so good.
Yeah. Like I've seen other streams. I've been a part of other streams where they get submissions too, and like ass compared to what we
get the cream of the crop somehow.
It's awesome. Man, I appreciate it. I like these emotes. But yeah, that was Dark Matters. Our girl Avenged 13 in chat. Do you have another one?
Final track rating.
Oh, final track. I think it's a develop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yellow for develop.
Wait,
you got this.
Yeah, you got this for sure. We want to hear it again. We want to hear more. I think got a lot of skill. That was super cool to listen to. I think this is our last track, right? This is also Psy.
Yep.
All right, Psy, our boy. Also from Reddit. Excuse me. Beat by Red Moss. Good.
Nice.
They're working with each other. That's good.
Let's go.
I'm getting an advertisement. Psy, what the hell, man? Are you getting monetized by SoundCloud or something? We're getting ads every time we get on your track. 2 of them too.
Brutal.
Thank you V much. Look at these little emotes. I was still learning back then. Oh, is this an older one?
Are you not still learning today?
Yeah, that's true. You ain't done yet, boy.
Yeah.
Beat by Red Moss or girl or whatever gender you are. This is 2021 after all.
This is correct.
Yeah, shout out Red Moss. Definitely got to listen to you guys for sure.
I was still learning back then. It was a few months into doing this. Oh, okay. So it was right towards the beginning.
Wow. Okay. How much are you into it now? Let's see. 4 months ago. A few months was into it.
So you're like a year in or something.
A year?
Like that.
Damn.
I love that shit, man. I love hearing music from people who are in that sort of zone of like just sort of starting to pick up on a lot of the skills and stuff. Yeah, like about a year. That's always cool, especially if they're fucking good.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big difference, especially if they're good. All right, you ready?
We got it. Yep.
Psy, Survivors.
Did we read the description?
There was none.
Oh, I have one.
Oh, fuck. Go for it.
I didn't realize you weren't in the form.
my bad.
This was a birthday gift for my best friend. We've been friends for like 7 years. Did you know that they say if you've been friends for 7 years, you're friends for life?
Jeez.
So yeah, congratulations on that. And went through a lot of stuff together. So I just wrote about that. I was still learning to master stuff, so it might be a bit rough. Okay.
Damn.
Cool.
That's fire, dude. If I wrote a song about my best friend, guaranteed it's a roast. Guaranteed it's a roast.
Yes.
You're too wholesome, Si.
Let's hear it.
All right. Survivors.
Acoustic sounds good.
Dude, the little those little notes, accidentals.
Lonely island, stars are inviting, escaping from the darkness, leave me behind, searching for new skies. Don't care if I'm alright, don't care if I'm alive. You're on my mind, you're on my mind, all night long. You're on my mind, all night long. I'm lifting your curse, I'm making it worse. I'm giving you my shirt, you're making me hurt, you're making me blind. At the moon I will cry with you right by my side. I wait for you to arrive. We will survive.
Nice transition. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Perfectly executed.
Cause nothing is the same with you leaving me behind. Got nothing left to say, so please hurry, come inside. I wait another day, and I wait another night. Can't hang on with all of you gone. Love is a bone, so I say so long. I'm at the moon, I will cry with you right by my side. I wait for you to arrive. We will survive.
Sheesh. That was Psy Survivors Red Mosque. Dude, when that strum down goes, like,
Oh.
it's like boom.
So nice, yeah.
You see me like floating in my chair, just boom.
Yeah, that was like perfect.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was for your friend. Like, seriously, I'd be like roasting. Like, this guy's balding. He's only 20 and he's bald. Like, that's what I would do. But y'all are wholesome. Vibes again. Yeah, I think that's the ghosts are sitting on the beach now. They're not surfing, but they're having like a campfire.
Yeah.
It
works with that.
It's good. Let's see. So vibes, I think, is green. Content, I think I'm gonna go to production. I think in terms of the vocal mixing, the high end didn't hurt this time. Like, I think this sounded less painful. Again, I think your talent is great and everything. Like, the artistry is there. I think there might be a little bit too much low end. And I think the balance between the instrumental and the vocal, I think the vocal's too high. I think there's because especially with some of the cool stuff that's happening near the latter part of the song, there's like a little guitar solo that's like going higher and higher and higher.
Sure.
And I found myself that I wanted to hear it instead of the hook. But I think the hook would still be good there. Maybe just push it back in the mix a little bit. I think what I might be looking for if I was a producer on that track, I would try to give maybe just the track in general some more wetness to it, some more. I just like to say reverb. Just slap some reverb on it. Like give it some room. It has that surfer rock that it sounds a little dry,
Yeah.
and I want it to be more wet.
You could do something really nice and be careful with it, but like a good way to put a lot of space reverb into something,
Yeah.
especially with this kind of song, use a really long pre-delay time. So like
For the
that
reverb.
sweep comes in or whatever, yeah, for the reverb. Sweep comes in, there's a pre-delay, which means that the
I have to try
reverb
that.
is not active until X number of milliseconds after. Like that's what creates those really, like I think like Adele's vocals do that a lot on like her 25 album, where you hear the vocal so presently, but then there's this huge wave of ambiance behind it.
That's crazy.
And they don't clash with each other at all. It's because you can create that separation between the reverb and whatever the track is by adding a pre-delay time to it, which most reverbs have a setting for that. So yeah, I mean,
that's crazy. That's something I would want to do in my track.
Yeah, it can be really useful. So the reverb doesn't sort of, make the track washed out. It retains the presence and gives it a big, wide ambiance.
It's good that you add that, because it's easy to just slap a reverb on it, but it might not sound like what you want it or what we want it to
reverbs,
sound like.
There's a huge variance in reverbs. Like there can be reverbs that sound totally wrong for the track they're on, and ones that take it to a whole different stratosphere.
Yeah.
So, and also I wouldn't just apply it to one track, like a vocal. That's a recipe for disaster.
No. I was thinking the whole track in general.
Yeah, put it on a bus and then send however much you want of at least a few tracks into it.
Yep.
It can be very subtle, or it can be however much if you want to create a drastic effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, that helps to tie things together into the same space.
Don't know what DAW you're using, but Ableton, you would use an aux track.
Yeah,
bus. Yeah.
Aux track, bus, same thing.
But yeah, I think that was my three. I think I went through. So
we have a chat there. Well, so if you scroll up, we had a couple just about better to send works in progress on feedback streams so you can actually fix stuff.
I agree,
but it's also like it can still be very helpful so that you can take lessons away for making tracks in the future or anything that you're working on right now. But I agree, like definitely.
Back then, I didn't know what a low or high end was.
Yeah,
bro,
that's amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. You should hear some of my old fucking tracks.
But so then the one here says,
I basically don't know anything. I just record my voice, slap it into a DAW, put stuff there until it sounds okay. Really want to learn more about vocal production so I can get more creative and consistent with it. I can't find much stuff about that online, though. Bro,
the internet is massive.
YouTube.
There's so much. Yeah, YouTube.
Go to
man.
YouTube. There's this fucking puppet I fucking watch for vocal tutorials. Stay with me. I think his name is Reid Stefan. REID space STFAN. Shouts out Reid. He's literally a puppet.
The Muppets of vocal tutorials.
And he has some fire vocal tutorials, and he like shows the whole chain. I don't know if you use Ableton, but he uses Ableton. Shows the whole chain, and like he tells what each thing is doing. So bro, like you can find it. Like I don't know where you've been looking, but you can find a lot of like just find like a artist that you want. Like how you can find a type beat, just like Uzi Vert type beat. Like search it up on YouTube. There's 100 fucking videos.
I don't know if there are type beats for this genre.
Oh, probably, dude. No, I challenge.
You can find stuff like it, but type beats is a very specific to hip hop thing.
Sorry, so that's my culture.
My song is a type song.
Yeah.
This is, I guess, you could find. Well, either way. I mean, where are you going with that? Like,
I was just saying, like with like tutorials, that shit's hot right now. That shit's all over
there's
YouTube.
There's so many vocal chain tutorials out there.
Yeah. So you can find it, man. Just
type it in the search box.
Yeah, go to YouTube. Just type it in. I gave you a specific one. Reid Stefan. If you want to go there, like
for puppets.
If you like puppets. I learned a lot from his chain, and I actually recently I learned from a couple of his chain. Like first, when I started out, I didn't want to buy any plugins, so I was like, oh, let's do the stock Ableton chain video, where you don't have to buy any extra things. You just make it sound decent. And to be fair, yours sounds pretty decent now. It's just that I wanted personally to add a little more wetness to it, give it more space. But go to YouTube, man. There's people that do like live stream that shit. Like me included. I live stream my stuff. I do a little plug. But like Kenny Beats, if you're into hip hop like me, like he's super thorough, a producer that does tutorials all the time when he live streams. So yeah, just look for it. Overall track, I think it's again yellow to green. I can tell you guys have the talent there. It's just on the production side, I would change a couple things if I was a producer on it. What do you think, Josh?
Sure. So, yeah, vibes again, love it. I think this.
That actually, I might change that to because I think the vocals weren't painful to listen to.
Yeah,
I think it might be a green.
It was a little bit better than before. I think
Yeah.
there's still a couple of asterisks there.
Yeah, because wetness might be a preference thing.
Yeah.
So I
that
think
wasn't,
it's solid. It's good to go. But me as a fan of yours now, that's what I wanted.
Yeah. Usually when I hear somebody say, like one of us say, I think it needs more reverb, it usually means that there's actually an issue with presence somewhere. So it means like I feel like something in here is too close to my face when I'm listening to it. Yep, vocals. That's usually what makes somebody say they want to hear more reverb, to make it sound like it's further away in a space, or to give it more of that side stuff because it's right here and it's like, you know, you want to make it wider.
He actually, it's like
well, there's like doubles and stuff, which
and I'm wondering when it sounds mono.
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question.
Because sometimes it cancels.
Yeah, that's a good production tip too. Like you should actually try mixing in mono if you can, to get it to the point where everything is balanced, and then flip it. Have you heard of that?
No, I've heard of it, but I don't do it.
Okay, well, this is kind of.
But I should do it. That's a good tip.
This is like an insider tip, but the OG way to do it, you get something called a mix cube. I think Aventone makes one, and Behringer makes one. It's this little speaker. It's like a 4-inch speaker or something, or maybe it's a 5-inch speaker. That it's a box you put in the center of your setup, and you can you can mix, or you can use it as a reference speaker. So when you flip to this thing, it has no low end and it has no high end either. But it really illuminates your mid range. So it's like, you know how you have a blind spot when you're driving in your car? Like there's certain points where you just can't see. Well, the mid-range often is sort of an area like that, because mid-range is variable between all different speaker systems more than any other part of the frequency range. That's where most people have issues with like timbre, because most timbral elements and timbral characteristics and colors live somewhere in the mid-range, right? But all speakers have different boosts and different cuts somewhere in the mid-range. So it's very hard to get it right. What a mix cube helps you do is like have a magnifying glass into the mid-range, and it's also a mono speaker. So you can either flip your speakers into mono or your DAW into mono, and try mixing. Try doing your whole mix in mono until you're ready to apply stereo. Right?
That is such a good tip.
And it's crazy what it does, because when you're in mono, any phase imbalances or phase cancellations between tracks that are panned left and right, you will be able to hear immediately, because they will be canceling out when both of the signals are summed together.
I'm going through this right now with a song I'm doing. Like I did what is it? I actually have a sample from Naruto, a sample that I got legally.
Sure.
But I put I think it's like a delay plugin, where a stereo delay. So I just wanted it to sound wider. And when I listen to it on stereo speakers, it sounds fine. I put it in the UE Boom, which is a mono, and it like sounds really quiet.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Probably because it's doing some cancellation.
Crazy mix in mono. That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Found the clip for the week. That's a good tip.
Yeah, I was like thinking that. So yeah, that's definitely something that could help.
Taylor Bands. Yo, what's up, bro? Thank you guys so much for the feedback. I'll keep all that stuff in mind for all the stuff I'm working on. Currently trying to work on an EP. I'll definitely come back to you guys with feedback. Bro, send us that EP. I'll be looking out for it.
Oh, but one important thing here also. There's still an issue with high end on the vocals.
Oh.
And I thought there was too much high end and a little bit too much of the low end, low mids on the vocals. Those are my two main production qualms with that part. And I think that will help to make it. It might even be just the level. Like the vocals could maybe just be taken down like half a dB or a dB or something, to make it sit better with the rest of the mix and make it feel wider. Because when you have anything that sticks out too far, it creates too much of this sort of like Z dimension depth, and then not enough of the sort of horizontal width. So that's why it's important to make sure that things sit on like somewhat of a level plane with each other. They can, dynamically play around with space in the mix, but if something's too far forward, now the band is 30 feet back. And that's weird.
That's the thing. I literally found myself in the latter half of the track, like, man, I want to hear what Red Mosque has to say in the back, because you're doing a hook, and the hook sounds good, but I've heard it before. The beat's changing. I want to hear what the beat is doing.
Yeah. So yeah, I think those are the main production tips that we have.
Yep.
So I mean, again, vibes totally green. Content, I would give it a green. I think it's a well written, put together song. I think you have a really good ear for arrangement. That's what I get from this. Like, I was super impressed by that part where there's that strum thing.
Yeah.
That's actually not easy to do. Like, that needs to be done in a very small window of like timing and like how those instruments layer when they come back in together. And that's done as professionally as I can imagine it.
Red Mosque.
Yeah.
Vocals too.
Yeah, that was really good.
Shout out Red Mosque.
So yeah, great content arrangement. The song is great. Just a couple of production things which would make it yellow for that.
Yep.
And then overall, I would again do a green with lemon lime or with an asterisk.
Yeah, with the green asterisk. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear more.
I think you have purple potential though, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's cool. All right, I think that's our last song though. Thank you guys so much for feedback. I think I already read that.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for popping up in the chat. That was dope. Almost everybody that we reviewed came into the chat. That's cool.
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah,
follow us on. We should
follow us on
sure...
Instagram, Discord. We have a Discord now. We keep forgetting to announce it.
Come to our Discord. Come hang out. You guys are having fun chatting here.
Yeah, post your EP when you're fucking done in the Discord, shit like that.
Yeah, you can meet people. You can meet producers. You can meet people there. Learn it. Music production tips, industry stuff. You just socialize. Hop in our Discord. It'll be a fun time.
That was dope.
And you might get some special benefits because for the people who are here, they probably don't even know.
Yeah.
So FastTrack, what me and Chris are doing, we are building a platform to help create a system for artists to do this stuff, to get feedback on their tracks, and to find people that can help with your track. So people that can produce stuff. If you need it like an instrumentalist, you can find that on FastTrack. If you need somebody to mix or master or create artwork, all of the above are applicable. And that's something that we're working on developing right now while we do the stream. So you should keep up to date with us for all of those updates in the near future. And follow us on Instagram. That's the best place to find out about everything we're doing. FastTrack_music. And join the Discord. I see Discord link doesn't seem to work.
All right, we'll get on it.
Yeah, we'll get on. Just I guess we'll
follow us on
update
Instagram in the meantime. Yeah,
we'll update it in Linktree. I'm assuming that you found it from the Linktree.
Great. Of course, something doesn't work. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody.
Discord.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate y'all, and we're gonna go to our ending screen.
Yeah. Send us more.
Have a good weekend.
Peace out.
Peace.